Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Indasha, aka Humble Servant, back again with the 30 for 30 Financial Fix Challenge. And yes, we're going to help 30 families over the next 30 days start their journey towards financial freedom and success. I'm here to help you guys. All right, so with the W4 training, there's several things I want to go over before I get into the training and show you guys and dissect this form for you guys. All right. So there are several things I want you guys to understand when it comes to Form W4 so you can have the right mindset. Everything is about the right mindset. You can't get anywhere in life without the right mindset. So here we go. It's your money. You work for it, so you decide how it comes. All right. It's not the government's money. It's your money. So stop being afraid that you're going to owe at the end of the year. Thing number two, here's the myth. I'm going to owe at the end of the year. If you keep good tax records and you have a good tax professional, there's a good chance that you may not owe at the end of the year. But in the event that you do, there's no worries, people. It's fine, okay? Here's the thing. We all pay taxes in this country. That's the way of the land. That's the way that this country is run. So we pay taxes to keep up with the infrastructure of this country, meaning that any government jobs like politicians, people that work on roads, people that are teachers, any type of public service jobs, police officers, firemen, our taxes pay them for them to be employed. All right. Our tax dollars pay them. Okay. And also, our tax dollars come out of our check each week to go towards the infrastructure of this country, to go towards the country's upkeep, to make sure, like I just mentioned, the roads and all that thing is up to par. All right, so here's the difference. A W-2 employee, anybody with a job, your boss takes out your taxes and pays the IRS for you, according to the tax code put in place for wage earners. Now, as a business owner, we pay taxes as well, of course. He or she decides to pay after they take care of themselves first, and they pay according to the tax code set forth for business owners and self-employed. All right. Thing number three, when you're filling out the W-4 form, fill it out honestly. It really doesn't make sense to lie about it because you can always adjust and readjust this thing. Fill it out honestly. And like I said, it's your money, and the money is in the second sheet anyway. All right. Thing number four, don't overthink it. Just read it and answer it as it applies. If it's applicable, put down the answer. If it's not applicable, put down the answer. Thing number five, you can always adjust the form at any time. All right. In fact, it says it right on the form. Let's go to the form. The IRS, it tells you the purpose of this form. The purpose is to complete Form W-4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from your pay and consider completing a new Form W-4 each year when your personal or financial situation changes. Drop the mic. Now, tell me, how many people have actually known about this, and how many people have actually went into their HR department and adjusted their Form W-4? Not many, because if you had, you would not be people would not be complaining about how broke they are. People would not be complaining about how much taxes is being taken out of the paychecks. Okay, see, here's the thing: people work at their job for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and they never go in and adjust this form. Okay, they never go in and adjust this form, and they can continue to struggle, continue to leave money on the table. The money that you work hard for, you continue to leave it on the table. So it's two things: you haven't adjusted this form, and you haven't started a business. You haven't started a business. Just because you start a business doesn't mean you have to be the next McDonald's. Just because you start a business doesn't mean you have to be the next Apple, the next Amazon. Okay? And here's the reality of it. The same tax write-offs that those Fortune 500 companies get is the same tax write-offs that you get as a business owner simply by starting a home-based business. Simple as that, family. Okay? So I need you guys to understand that, the importance of it. All right? So, thing number 6. Although the effect is immediate, meaning that your pay will increase via tax deductions of less taxes being taken out, your paycheck will increase within your next pay period. All right. Um, although that effect is immediate, this form is actually for next year's projections, meaning that it's for the projections, what you project to make in the next year. Okay, family, so I'm going to go through this Form W form with y'all so you know how to fill it out properly and you can get that those taxes reduced and within your paychecks, and you can get more money within your paychecks, all right? So real quick before I go through it line by line, um, just want to go through some of the terms that they have in the form so you'll be aware of them once we get there. So they talk about, where we at? So they talk about head of household. So a lot of people get confused with the head of household. So it states right up here, generally, you can claim head of household filing status on your tax return only if you're unmarried and pay more than 50% of the cost of keeping up a home for yourself and a qualifying individual. Okay, so that means that you and your partner that lives together, if you pay 51% of the bills or the expenses, you can claim head of household. Tax credit. When you file a tax credit, child tax credit, when you file your tax return, you may be eligible for a credit for each of your qualifying children. And to qualify, you must be under the age of 17 as of December 31st. You must be a dependent who lives with your mother. I'm sorry, who lives with you for more than half of the year. All right. So anybody that has a child, you take care of them. You qualify them as a tax credit, and also credit for other dependents. So credit for other dependents at anybody that are older than 17. Okay. So such as any dependents or children 17 or older. Okay. You can, and then up in your house, eating your food, sleeping on your couch, you can put them down as a credit as a line, I'm sorry, as a credit for a dependent. All right, so moving right along. You're going to answer the question as it applies. Once you fill this out, you're going to separate this. It says separate here and give W4 form to your employer and keep the worksheet for your records. So this is the only portion that you have to hand in to your employer. Okay, so you're gonna put your first, your last name, social security, your address, city and state and zip code where you live, your marital status, all that good stuff. I wouldn't suggest trying this social security, guys, if I was y'all. All right, so don't even try it. So and if your last name differs from that shown on your social security card, check here. Most people's last name is going to be the same from their social security card to what they're going to be putting on this form here. So now your total allowance numbers, your total number of allowances you're claiming, we're not going to fill that in yet because like I told y'all, the money is in the second sheet. Okay, the second and third sheet for that matter. All right, so line number 6. Additional amount, if any, you want withheld from your paycheck. Put 0. All right. You work hard for the money. You bust your ass. Don't let them trick you out your money. That's your money. They don't. What they need to hold your money for? To give it back to you at the end of the year? No, it's yours. So you take it. Line number 7. That's for anybody that has a nonprofit, a 501c3, a foundation, or anything like that. You know, a lot of these people are tax exempt, so they don't have to pay taxes at the end of the year. Moving right along, going down to the personal allowances worksheet. So again, enter the answers as the question applies. All right. Line number 1, enter 1 for yourself. Everybody should be entering a 1 for themselves. Enter a 1 if you will file as married or filing jointly. Okay. Answer as it applies. Enter 1 if you are filing head of household. We went over that already. Answer that as that it applies. Child tax credit. We went over that already. Answer that as that applies. Okay. Also, it says is if your total income would be for child tax credit, if your total income would be less than 69,000 as a single person, you're going to be putting in 4. If you're married filing jointly, you have to, it's 101,000 or less, you're going to be entering a 4. Now, if your total income will be 69,000 upwards to 175,000, you're going to be entering a 2. Filing jointly, if it's at 101,000 to 339,000, you're going to be entering a 2 as well. Moving right along. Credit for other dependents. We went over that already. Okay. Enter that as it applies. Other credits. We went over that. Enter that as it applies. And with line number H, you're going to add lines A through G, and that's what's going to give you the total on line number H. Mine was 6. Okay, so the second worksheet. Now this is where the money is at. Okay, now this is for people that plan to go into business for themselves. Okay, any type of home-based business, whether you work with me or you work with any type of other home-based business, this is where the money is at. Okay. Now, your first year is going to be the minimum. We're only going to do the minimum because we don't know how dedicated you're going to be. So, with line number 1, enter an estimate of your 2018 itemized deductions. We don't know our 2018 itemized deductions because we haven't done any work yet. So, you're going to put a 0. So, line number 2, enter 24,000 if you're married filing jointly. Enter 18,000 if you're head of household for line 2. Enter 12,000 if you're single or married. If you're single or married filing separately for line 2. All right. Answer that as it applies. Line number 3. Subtract line 2 from line 1. If 0 or less, enter 0. Line 3, I had 0. Line 4, enter an estimate of your 2018 adjustment to income and any additional standard deduction for age or blindness. Okay, so for line number 3, you're gonna put 0. Line 4, I just read that. Okay, line number 4, enter any estimate of your 2018 adjustments or income and any additional standard deduction. So we're going to put the minimum for line number 4, which is $4,150. All right, that's the minimum. So in other words, the money that you spend in the course of doing business, the minimum you can put down is $4,150. Now, most people may exceed that, but just to be on the safe side, we're going to put the minimum because I don't know how dedicated you're going to be and things of that nature. So once you get that, you accumulated that much, that portion of that is tax deductible, and you don't have to pay as much taxes on that. All right. So moving right along, line number 5, add line 3 and line 4 and enter the total. So add line 3 and line 4 into the total, which would be the same as $4,150. Line 6, enter an estimate of your 2018 non-wage income. An estimate of your 2018 non-wage income. We want to put 0 for that because if you was getting any type of dividends or interest, you wouldn't be filling out this form in the first place. So subtract line 6 and line 5 and put the total on line 7. So subtract line 6 and line 5, so that'll be $4,150. And on line number 8, divide the amount of line 7 by $4,150 into the result here. Now remember what I told you guys, that was the minimum, so that's what we're going to start with. So for line 7 it's going to be $4,150. I'm sorry, for line 8 it's going to be 1. Okay, now enter the number from the personal allowance worksheet on line H. Now remember, up at the top, line H is 6. So we're going to take 6 and we're going to take 1 from line number 8 and right here. Then we're going to put that on line 9, which gives you a total of 7. And it says add lines 8 and 9 and enter the total here. If 0 or less, enter 0. If you plan to use the 2 earning multiple worksheet, jobs worksheet, also enter this total on line 1 on page 4. Otherwise, stop here and enter this total on form W4. So that's what we want to do, guys. We're going to stop here, enter that number 7 on the first form. You don't have to worry about the second form. It states it right up here. unless you have multiple jobs and all that stuff you want to put. You don't have to worry about that. So you scroll back up to that first worksheet, and we're going to put, what was that, 7. So now you have 7 allowances that you're going to that I'm going to chop off, and I'm going to hand it to my HR department. Okay, so that's the W4 form training. You guys, this is valuable information. It's information that a lot of people are not aware of. So take this training, connect with me so I can get you guys acclimated on how to get some business income. And until the next time, peace.